Welcome, beautiful souls. Thank you for being here with me, Tara Love Perry, this evening on my channel. Welcome. I just want to send you all so much love. I'm feeling really, really in my heart more than usual. Yeah, more than usual today. Maybe it's because the sun was shining, who knows? Or maybe it's because I'm on purpose. So welcome in. I want to talk about from burnout to thriving. And I wanted to make this live this evening, or whatever time zone you guys are in. It's my evening, the sun's setting. I wanted to have this wonderful opportunity to have a Q&A. So I love doing lives much more than I love videos because I really love the interaction. I love being able to be here and connect with you wherever you are in the world and hear from you and get the feedback and feel like we're having a conversation about this. Because on one level, I can go, yeah, I know a whole bunch of things about the subjects that I'm talking about self-love. I've been teaching self-love since 2008. So I've been doing this a really long time. And I know my subject inside and out. I eat, sleep, walk, talk, self-love. And because it's that important in my life personally, and in my professional life, the way that I show up. And personally, I think self-love is the real foundation that all of our lives need to be built on. But let's look at one of the ways which we can recognize where self-love is really a missing thing in our lives. And of course, self-love is something that we all have our different definitions about. You know, today I was listening to some other teachers and gurus and people online who were talking about self-love. And I've got some different feelings and opinions about it than I think most other people have. So I don't mean to make anybody wrong. This is just my experience, having been immersed in it for such a long time. So I'm really just going to be talking from my heart. And again, that's why I really love doing these lives, because look, I can't edit myself if I say something dumb. I can't, put something in if I miss something out. This is just me, normal me, vulnerable and real with you, just showing up. Because to me, that's what this is all about. That's what connection is all about, being authentic, unedited. And that's something I really, really value. But also, to me, that's what self-love is about, for me anyway. It's just being real. It's just being authentic. It's just showing up. And so why am I saying this? Because I guess this is the theme that I want to start this discussion on this evening, and how that has to relate to the topic of burnout, and then how that relates to self-love. So let's get into it. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for being here. I really love it. If you enjoy what I'm talking about, just to subscribe and like and get involved in the conversation, say hi. Even if you're watching this as a recording, I still go back and listen, not listen to the comments. I see, dumb thing, unedited. I still go back and I read the comments and, comment where I can and send you some love. So I appreciate that. Let me know where you're listening from, and also get involved in this topic, in this conversation, because I reckon you're here either because you need self-love in your life, and so yay, you've come to the right place, and also because that title of burnout, and this is what I want to get into about how it can be really deadly. And I don't mean to be provoking or triggering, but let's just be real about it. Okay, it can be deadly. I want to get into that, and also how you can be experiencing burnout or on the road to burnout and not even realize that it's that, not be able to name it, not be able to kind of diagnose yourself, if you like. So I really want to get into that so that we can, the more knowledge we have, the more we understand, and the more that we feel validated for what we're experiencing, that really gives us a springboard from which then we can make some choices. We got options, we got things we can do about it. But if it's not recognized and it's just going on as one of those things that you kind of just keep shoving under the carpet, under the rug, keeping it down, soldiering on, carrying on, then, things are going to get worse and worse. Okay. And we don't want those things to escalate. That's exactly why I want to talk about it. and be really real and honest about the implications, what it can do to your life, and how to recognize that, okay? So I'm going to just flip over my screen so that I can see where we are live. And so I can see your comments.
That's exactly what I want.
There you go. Another mistake. There you go. So I can actually see your comments and any questions that you want to post in here about this. Okay. So where do we start? So coming back to that authenticity piece. Okay, I'm going to just click that to keep that one on. Coming back to that authenticity piece. I mean, there's something very humbling about this, and that is being able to be real and authentic with yourself and where you're at right now in your life. Because you could be doing things, behaving in certain ways that are affecting both your work life and your personal life. But because of the sense of duty, because of the sense of responsibility, this is just one of the aspects, there's many aspects. But because of that feeling where, well, you can't just, not do certain things. You can't just stop doing stuff. You can't just stop working. You can't just stop cleaning house or making dinner. You can't just stop being a parent. You can't just stop being a carer. You can't just stop having to do the things that you do, even though you know that they stress you out or they make you feel tired or you really just don't love them. But you do them anyway, and you keep doing them and doing them and doing them. And in a way, no one else is making you do that. It's you making you do that. It's you pushing your own limits. It's you draining your own cup. It's you in a relationship with yourself that is where a part of you is making you do things and telling you you should, you have to, you need to. And I know that you're going to have some kind of story running, your fears running, that if you did stop doing those things that you know are really draining you, then what would happen? And it would be like, well, maybe the mortgage wouldn't get paid, or the kids would go hungry, or, you wouldn't have an income, or you wouldn't be fulfilling your purpose, or you wouldn't be making a difference, or you wouldn't be, fill in the blank. Let me know what that is for you. What is that fear story that you're running? That's like, well, if I stop doing this, then this is going to fall apart. That's going to crash and burn. That won't happen. This won't happen. And it's like the walls start coming down. That fear makes everything feel so impossible that every which way you look, depending on the severity of what you're experiencing, obviously, but it can get to that point where doors start closing, and it seems to have like a domino effect, where a door closes on one area, like where if I stop work, for example, even if you don't love it, well, you can't do that because the money won't come in, your partner will get angry with you, there won't be enough food, you won't have a house, you won't be keeping up with the lifestyle you want, you'll lose the car, you won't have holidays, whatever it is. And it's like crumbling, that crumbling feeling of like everything will start to fall apart. And if you don't do it, who will do it? Think about this in your workplace. If you have a job or you work for yourself, well, if you don't do it, then you'll get fired, or you'll get demoted, or you'll let people down. And that's a massive one, is letting other people down. You'll let your family down. And it's like, that's that everything starts crumbling. That's the domino effect that I just mentioned. It's like one fear breeds another fear, breeds another fear, breeds another fear, until pretty soon, everywhere you look, it's like that door closing, that door's closing, that door's closing. I can't do this, I can't do that. I have to keep going. And you have to pull that resource, that energy, that solution, that motivation from somewhere inside of yourself. You're literally scooping out your own energy, your own life force, and then dishing it out to all these other people. because of the fear that's keeping you in that pattern, that's actually in a way trapping you in the situation that you're in. And it's your fears. And you might say to me, well, Tara, those fears are a reality. Look at the world we live in. I'm a single parent, or, whatever your situation is, you're going to have your justifications. And I completely understand. I'm not making you wrong. You're completely right. You are right to feel that way. You have every right to be scared, because that makes sense. That's very logical. That's the way that reality appears to you right now. So you say, okay, but I have to keep going. So, maybe I'll just eat more green vegetables, or maybe I'll go for a run, and maybe I'll, have a day off where I don't do anything, and I'll recharge my batteries. And that might be great for a week. That might be great for a month. But then what happens? You take that energy out of yourself again, that recharged, refilled battery, and then you just go, okay, now I've recharged myself, I'm going to give it all back out again. And then you have to stop and recharge and give it all back out again, and stop and recharge and give it all back out again. And how many times have you gone through that cycle of having to recharge your own batteries to keep giving to others? Because you feel like you have to, because maybe you're the only one who can, or the only one that does, and it'll all collapse if you stop. That's the panic button that's going off in your head. That fear, that's an alarm. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. Let me know if you understand what I'm talking about. If you have that panic button and it's like, oh, I've got to do something. Now, that panic, that when fear gets to that level where it's like, it's like, it's all, I'm saying that because it's almost audible. It's almost like you can hear the panic in your own head, and you can feel the panic in the nervous system, because that's where it directly goes to. You're signaling with the fears in your mind, because of the way that you're perceiving your reality and the situation that you're in and the situation that you're trapped in, that's sending the signal, electrical signals from your mind straight into your body. And if you think and feel about this, what is this body mostly made of? It's water, right? We're almost all water. And just imagine for a moment what happens if you put large amounts of electrical energy into a body of water. Let's say you drop the hairdryer in the bath when it's plugged in and switched on. Would you want to be in that bath water? No, of course you wouldn't. Why wouldn't you? Because you'd get fried. That would be seriously damaging. So we know that. We all know that there's no plugs in bathrooms for a reason, or the safety plugs or the shaver plugs instead of hairdryer plugs for a reason, because we know that that's very dangerous to put electricity through water and to be in the water. We know that electricity all by itself, sticking your finger in the plug, that's not safe. We know that. But do you know, and I'm sure you do, right? But I'm going to bring your attention to it because this is really important. This is why it becomes deadly, right? We know electric shocks are deadly. We know that sitting in a bath with a hairdryer is deadly. But when we have that level of fear that starts to get into that level of panic, where we start to feel more and more trapped, more and more isolated, more and more unable to keep up with our responsibilities and maintain this giving of energy, serving everyone, being the supply of energy for others, that your body starts to get drained and it sends you that alarm signal. That's electrical energy. Thoughts are electrical. And that electrical energy is going directly into your beautiful body, your body full of water. And that charge is amplified in the water. It's already enough just as a thought. Even as a low level, you're still charging the water in your body. You're charging your mind. You're frying your little mind. And by little, I don't mean, to diminish your mind. I'm just saying, like it's a cute thing. Your poor little mind is being fried. But then when you have that electrical energy going through your body, can you feel the impact that that has on your nervous system, number one, that carries this information, this electrical information all through your body? Your wires, your internal wiring is your nervous system. And again, I'm sure, if you're an electrician or even if you're not an electrician, if you put too much electricity through a thin little wire that's not built for it, you're going to burn that wire out. It's not designed to carry that much electricity, that much charge. And that's what we do to our nervous systems when we have panic, when we have fear, and we get into that anxiety. And I have to say this because anxiety levels are so high right now. It's almost tangible in the air. It's almost like Wi-Fi. It's everywhere. And perhaps the Wi-Fi is even amplifying the anxiety. Perhaps those signals are really, having a bit of a mashup. They're not working. The Wi-Fi is actually interfering with our own electrical system. That could be part of the issue. But I'm not here to get into that right now. I'm just saying that your electrical systems, your energy systems, in that anxiety, in that panic, in that fear, in that, I don't know what to do, can absolutely fry your nervous system out, overcharge your internal wiring. And that really is painful. It's extremely painful. I've experienced this all over my body. It's incredibly painful. It's debilitating. But then that electrical energy, that fear gets into all of the organs. It's all through your body. It's in your heart, it's in your liver, it's in your kidneys, it's in your stomach, it's in your gut, it's everywhere. And of course, in your mind. It's charging your whole body to a certain kind of frequency and not raising your frequency in a good way, but raising that electrical frequency, that panic frequency, the alarm, the high-pitched alarm noise, really, really unpleasant, really uncomfortable, but that's what your body will be sitting in all the time. That's what's going on in the background of your mind all the time. Now, you have different levels of volume of this. Maybe some days it's less and other days it's more. But I'm inviting you right now to pay attention to it. Where's your level currently at? Where was it at last week? Where's it at today? Check in with yourself. Be honest, be real, be transparent with you. Because you're all that matters right now. All these things that you pour energy into, if you literally fry yourself out to the point and exhaust yourself to the point where you do end up having a breakdown, or you do end up having to take time off work, you're not going to be able to give that energy to anybody else anymore. And that is scary. That's much scarier because then you're not there. All those places that you're working really hard to be and all those bases you're trying to cover, when something actually does, heaven forbid, please forgive me, I'm not willing this upon you, but should it happen, then you're not going to be able to maintain any of that anyway. The way that you potentially are working is unsustainably. It has a shelf life. Maybe you've got another few months left in the tank. Maybe you've got another few years. If you manage it, and I hear this a lot, I'm managing my energy, I'm managing my stress, I'm managing my nervous system. Management is not a sustainable way to operate. You can manage it for so long, and at some point, you're not going to be able to manage it anymore. And it's like the floor caves in, the walls cave in. And again, I don't mean to be like, doomsday about this. I really don't. But it's really important that this gets talked about and acknowledged and talked about in a genuine, real way so that you can recognize yourself and where you're at. You can take stock, you can be real with yourself. And I'm inviting you to validate yourself for where you're at. Hopefully, my words are validating you. Hopefully, I'm using language that's resonating with you. So you get that reflection. So you can, yeah, that's how it feels to me. But only you know how it actually feels to you. And I'd love you to tell me how it actually feels to you, what you're experiencing, how these symptoms show up in your life so that you know, so that other people can know. Hi, thanks for being here. Because this is where we need to kind of, what's the word I'm trying to find? Solidify, no? So consolidate, yes, consolidate our focus, our energies together, because you might describe it in a way that resonates with somebody else right here on this chat, and somebody else might read it and go, yes, that's exactly how I feel it. And you're validating that other person. And if we can discover all of the ways that this shows up for each of us and share that message together, excuse me, then that validation is part of the route to healing. It's part of that pathway back to thriving. Because I can tell you, I've experienced burnout, and I'll say, oh, well, I'm just feeling a little bit burnt out. Oh, yeah, had a bit of a stressful week, feeling really exhausted. And I pushed it under the carpet as well, because I had commitments. I'm a single mother. I raised my kids. They're 22 and 23 now. Big, beautiful, strong, amazing, conscious young men. I'm super proud. I raised those boys by myself. I was the only person bringing income into the household. I was running the business. I was flying everywhere. I was helping loads of people. And I was being there, trying to be there for everybody. And I put myself on the back seat. Not that I wasn't loving myself. I certainly thought I was loving myself. And I was definitely addressing certain parts of my life and my, relationship with myself with love. I was teaching it. I had to. It was important to me. However, there was other big chunks that I didn't see in my blind spot. And as a healer, a giver, a helper, someone who wants to make a difference in this world, someone who really genuinely feels a lot of love and compassion and empathy for humanity and the things that we go through, like on a huge level. And I'm sure that's you as well. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be connecting right now, right? We share that. And that's, I believe, how we get into this state in the first place. It's one of those, telltales signs that because you care so much, it's almost like you'd be willing to go to the ends of the earth. You'd almost be willing to drain yourself completely to make that difference, to make that contribution, to make the world a better place, to help the people that you love. Because love is such a powerful force. It drives us to do the things that we do, right? Tell me if I'm right. Tell me if that's you. Driven by passion, driven by love, driven by compassion, driven by the desire to give and make things better, make a difference, make other people's lives better, because you care. And that's such a beautiful thing. And I know for myself, I almost was willing to sacrifice myself completely without realizing that that's what I was doing, right? This is a blind spot. I know that sacrificing yourself is not a sustainable thing to do. It doesn't really get you any results. It doesn't actually help other people. It's like a non-sustainable thing. You're going to crash. But something inside of me, this voice inside of me, that was driving me to the edge, because I hadn't yet met that part of me with self-love. And that's another story. But whilst I hadn't met that part of myself, I was like, really, I would have done anything. I was willing to do anything because that desire to make a difference was so big. And again, this is an invitation, the reason I'm sharing this with you. And, it's not like one of my best, sides that I'm sharing with you now, but I want to be real so that you can recognize and take for yourself what's a mirror for you right now. If you have this in you, where a part of you is willing to do whatever it takes for the people you love and then sacrificing yourself, your time, your energy, your precious life force, sacrificing your mental health, sacrificing your physical health, sacrificing your emotions. These things are precious to you. And you've got to recognize if that actually is worth it, if that pays back, if that's reciprocating to you in any way. Because if you become the supply, or you at least think that you do, and you're set up, and this is a deeper issue. We're going to go into this on the From Burnout to Blissed Out self-love spa that I'm running. It starts next Monday, so it's only 5 days from now, guys. So if you want to really go into this and heal these things that we're talking about now, then that's going to be for you. I'll put the link in the description box when I finish doing this live, so you can come back and click on it and get in. It's really inexpensive, and there isn't an awful lot for you to do. Okay, it's really receptive for you to experience. And it doesn't stress me out either, by the way. I don't get burnt out doing this kind of thing. I absolutely love it. So, if this is resonating with you, really consider, go and have a look at that link when I post it, see if it's for you. Where was I? I'm just going to read your comments here. Deep shame. Tell me more about that, because that's what I was thinking about today. Thank you for saying that. Is it Cass? Deep shame. Yeah, we'll come back to the shame part in a minute. No, but you're completely on topic. And you're saying boundaries are always needed in the truest sense of it, and always are boundaries needed. Yes. So boundaries, exactly. And, again, that's another topic. And I'm going to dive into that, not on this video, but on Inside the Self-Love Spa. Because again, the way people define boundaries and the way that most people think that boundaries exist, it's like putting up walls, putting up fences, drawing the line in the sand. And it's like, I can show you a way that's more effective than that. Because again, that's fallible. It's like if you build a wall, someone can knock it down. And it takes energy to put that wall up. And it takes energy to maintain that wall. And it takes energy to maintain those boundaries. So I want to show you a much more, what I think, in my experience, a much more effective way than having to build walls and fences and boundaries. Rather than doing that, there's a better way of dealing with that. So we will do that inside the Self-Love Spa. So come on in if that's interesting to you and you want to know how to do that. Okay, it's much less effort and it's way more loving to you. Okay, so let's get back on track. Thank you for those comments. So I absolutely love it. Shame is a big part of this. That is like the deepest part of the barrel. That's where all of this goes to. And I'm sorry for my internet. I live in the countryside and it just flips off loads. So let's come back. What are we talking about? You giving that energy out all the time and then it not being reciprocated. And you having to find that resource, that source from inside of you. It doesn't just drain your cup of energy and your vitality. It also drains your confidence, your self-esteem, your sense of worthiness. It really drains your mental energy. So it gets harder and harder to think clearly. It gets harder and harder to focus. It gets harder and harder to be around other people's energy, especially when those people are looking to you as the source. They're going, where's my cup of energy today? Where's my cup of energy today? I want a cup of energy from you. I want a cup of energy from you. Some people have attached a hose pipe, screwed it in, and your tap's running all the time, and they're siphoning on a daily basis. I'm not joking. Seriously, look out for those people. Have a little feel into yourself right now. Who does most of your energy go to? That's not sustainable. That's not good for them. That's not good for you. Okay. And it starts to drain from your body, your energy, your physical life force in your cells, in your organs, everything. It's like it uses up all the minerals, all the vitamins. It even feels like it uses up all the oxygen in your body. So the further you go down this road of burnout, you get this feeling of like, I can't breathe. I've got no space to breathe because everyone's taking their cup of energy. You become more and more sensitive because those nerves have got so fried out. The coating on the edge of your nerves around around your nerves starts to get worn away. A bit like how sugar wears away the enamel on your teeth and starts to make holes in your teeth. It's like a nervous system. And so your nervous system starts to get really, really sensitive so that other people, you're more and more sensitized to their energy, to their negativity, to their pain, to their struggles, to their complaints, to all of the stuff that's going on for them, their anxiety. And then you kind of just get overloaded by other people's energy. And you can get to the point where you don't know what's yours and what's theirs. It's all starting to blur. And you start to lose a sense of yourself. And it's like, I don't know who I am anymore. Am I feeling other people? Am I feeling myself? And especially if you are an empathic, sensitive person already, which you are, even if you don't know it, you're empathic. Everybody is, unless you're a narcissist and you've absolutely switched your empathy off, or your ability for empathy was, annihilated in your childhood or by trauma, which it can have that effect. It's like the empathy can get so burnt and so abused that it can just shut down. And it's not that that person never had empathy or that nobody's capable of empathy. Everybody is. It comes to us as naturally as breathing. But it hasn't kind of been, there's not enough education around it. There's not enough awareness of it to let you know, yes, you are empathic anyway. And I would bet money that a big part of what you do, going out there, serving, helping others, giving so much from your own cup, is because you're trying to feed, trying to heal, trying to remedy, trying to solve or service other people's emotional energy, which is off, which doesn't feel good. You can feel their struggle, their trauma. And you're giving to try and make that better in a way to serve yourself. Yes, to help them because you love them and care about them. But when it's to people that, aren't particularly close to you, it's become a compulsive thing. It's almost done as a protection mechanism. Like if I make that person feel better, their energy will start to regulate and feel easier to be around. Therefore, because you're empathic and you pick up on this person's energy, your energy goes, oh, thank goodness, they feel better, so now I feel better. Because you're not realizing what's yours and what's theirs. You're not realizing the extent of your empathy and how much you're picking up everyone else's energy. Now, that's really easy to do, and it's completely understandable. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. It's your natural ability. It's your natural state. And look at the world we live in. Look how much trauma there is around us. If you walk down a general high street or you go into your shopping mall or a big supermarket and you're around a lot of people, all of those people's energy, if you had your glasses on that allowed you to see energy, just imagine for a moment, you put those glasses on, you think of a place you go to regularly where there's lots of people, and be like, if you could see their energy, what would you be seeing? If you could see what was going on for them emotionally, what would you be seeing? What's the real them behind the facades that people put up? What's their energy doing? And you're in that. We're in that all the time. So we have to go, oh my goodness, that same compassion, that same love, that same urge, compulsion that we have to help other people, we have to recognize I'm in this soup. I'm in this, trauma soup, if you like, of humanity, and I'm picking it up all the time. I'm one of those people. I'm also that person that needs my love, care, and empathy, my compassion, my healing. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, just to keep ourselves in a healthy, flowing, functioning state where we're not picking up all this stuff all day long, it's like you need daily energy cleansing. You need your daily flush through, cleaning your pipes, cleaning your chakras, cleaning your energy field, cleaning your nervous system, making sure that your emotions are flowing and they've not got stuck with this grime and this baggage of other people's emotional stuff that you're picking up. Because I literally see it on people. It's like they go, okay, I'll take that. I empathize with you. That's your bag. And we say that, right? That's your bag. And I'll put it in myself. And I'll carry it because that's what love looks like to me. I'm sharing your pain. I'm empathizing and I'm carrying it with you. And I'm like, is that really what a loving relationship looks like? That we carry each other's emotional baggage and then we all suffer? Is that love? Be curious. Is it? Is that love to do that to yourself? Because you don't need to. And maybe you just don't know how. Maybe you don't know how to keep your energy clear. Boundaries aren't going to do it. Energy doesn't know boundaries. Energy can cross walls. Do you understand that? Coming back to your really good comment about boundaries there. You can pick up someone's energy on the other side of the planet. You can be really far away and it can still impact you. If you're tapped into that person, if you've got an empathic kind of gateway open to them, and if you also have a matching emotional trigger, emotional baggage. If you have an unhealed emotional wound, that person has an unhealed emotional wound, you are connected. Does that make sense? It doesn't matter the distance. I've experienced this. I'm sure you have too. You can feel someone else. Even when people have passed away, you can still feel the unhealed baggage that they left behind, that they weren't able to cleanse and process in their lifetime. So maybe you just don't know how to do it. I think if people did know how to do it, you'd at least have a choice. You'd at least have more solutions in your bag, okay? And I want to give you those solutions. I know how this works. I literally see energy and I'm super empathic. And I figured this out pretty early on in my life, in my 20s. And so I needed ways to not just manage it and shut myself down and distance myself from people and try not to pick up other people's emotions. I couldn't. I was super sensitized. And that's another story as well. But basically, I had to find a way to actually solve this problem from the inside out so that I could have a life. And I knew the difference between what I was feeling and what other people were feeling. And then I could regulate that empathy because I mastered it. I want to help you do that. Okay. Mastering your empathy is not something you can do overnight, but I can show you how to get started with doing that when you come and join me in the self-love spa that we're doing for burnout to blissed out. Okay. Again, I'll put the link below. Or if you do any other courses that I'll be running in the future, especially if you're a therapist or a healer or a coach or somebody who actually is you're really resonating with what I'm saying and you want to learn these skills, these tools to actually clean and clear your energy so that you are running pure and clear, because that's a big enough job in itself, right? Coming back to the soup of trauma that the world's in right now. And we can't downplay that. We can't say, well, is it really? We have to be, again, honest. Let's be real. If you put on your I can see energy glasses, you could see trauma glasses. Where would you not see it is where I want to ask you. And again, I'm not being doom and gloom, but it's like if we don't have the courage, have the honesty, have the genuineness to be able to see things which are causing problems and see them for what they are, we can't begin to start solving them. We can't begin to start healing them. And they can be healed. And it's, going back to what I was saying about 20 minutes ago, it's that shoving it under the carpet, going, I don't know how to deal with this. It's completely overwhelming. I don't have a solution. I don't know what to do. I feel trapped, so I'll just keep going. I'll just keep doing what I do because I don't know any other option. Well, there is other options. You don't need to keep doing that. There's so many other options. But the worse you get into this burnout situation, I was going to call it a syndrome then, I don't know if that's medically correct, but the more that you get into this burnout situation, the less options you see in front of you because you're shutting down. You're running on the lowest of the low. You have drained your batteries. You're starting to eat away and corrode at the housing of the battery, right, which is your body. You're corroding yourself from the inside out. That's why you get autoimmune disorders. You get all kinds of illnesses, diseases. They're not diseases. They're not just a disease that you caught. These are symptoms of your body breaking down, shutting down, trying to keep you in survival. So, okay, we'll shut down that part of your body. We'll shut down your liver. We'll shut down your right kidney. We'll shut down, that part of your colon. We'll shut down that part of your artery. We'll shut down that part of your, reproductive system. It's your body trying to protect you and saying, okay, not enough energy to power all cylinders. Let's start shutting the cylinders down to keep you going, to keep you in survival. And I really want to bring your attention to this and ask yourself the question, is that loving? Is that loving yourself? Is that how you really want to treat yourself? Do you want to be the martyr? Do you want to sacrifice yourself? Because ultimately what you're looking for, because I know that place, I've been in that place where you go, yes, I do. Why? Why would you want to diminish and deplete and exhaust yourself so much to the point that you get sick, mentally or physically? Why would you want to do that? See if you can tell me why in the chat. Tell me, why would you want to do that? There's a really big reason people do this. And again, probably don't want to look at it, probably don't want to admit it, but we're lifting the rug up. We're like, okay, lifting the lid on this. Because it's too dangerous not to. We can't keep going the way that we're going. Humanity can't keep going the way that we're going. We are going through a huge transformation right now, en masse, in the collective. We're going through a conscious awakening. And that means saying, okay, I'm going to pull the curtains away from my eyes. I'm going to take off my blindfold and I'm going to see what I've been shoving underneath that carpet in yourself, inside of you, what you haven't wanted to see, what you haven't been able to face until now. Let's lift it up and have a look. And let's see what's really going on under that hood, so that then you can get the tools, you can get the support, you can get the help, you can get the love that you're looking for, the compassion and the empathy that you're looking for, so that you can heal, amend, and restore, so that you don't have to burn out to get blissed out, right? You don't have to burn out to get the love that you're looking for. Am I right? Let me know how you feel about this, what you think. Because ultimately, that's what you're looking for. Any of you here been really, really sick, really, really ill, and it's almost like a part of you, even though it's horrible being ill, it's horrible the suffering that you go through, And you, of course, don't want to have to suffer. But I know, having been there myself and seen so many thousands of other people do this, that there's a part of you that kind of is saying, how sick do I have to get? How burnt out, how tired, how exhausted, how broken, how done in do I have to get until somebody notices? Until somebody else sees that they're taking too much energy from me, that I'm giving so much. When is someone going to notice how much I'm giving to help them because I love them? And how long do I have to suffer until somebody sees that I need that energy too? I need someone to give to me what I'm giving to them. I need someone to give me back that empathy, that compassion. I need someone to do for me what I do for them. And there's this kind of secret part that's going, oh, I have to get a bit more sick. They're not paying attention yet. Has to get a bit worse. And of course, it's not conscious, right? It's a subconscious part. It's your survival part going, I don't know how to help myself. I don't know how to heal myself. I don't know how to stop my compulsion to help others. I don't know how to master myself. We have to be honest. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, exhausting yourself to the point where somebody finally will go, you look tired today. Do you need a hug? Maybe you need to have a day in bed. Maybe you need some compassion. Maybe you need some empathy. Maybe you need someone to see you in what you're doing, in what you're giving, in what you actually need. And why do you need that? Why do you need someone else to see what you need? Because you're ignoring it, basically, to be blunt about it. You're not taking care of your own needs. You're taking care of other people's needs in the hope that they will say, what do you need? And take care of your needs. And there's a word for this. It's called codependency. And this is how it worked when we were children. If I make sure mummy and daddy are okay, and I try and take care of their needs or not do something so I'm not demanding on them or, giving, I'm not needing anything to make it easier for them to love me and take care of me. When we start prioritizing as children our parents' needs over our own, because we don't know any better at that point, we're not self-aware enough. And we're completely in survival. We need our parents to love us and then take care of us. So it's like if I take care of my parents well enough, they'll be okay. Coming back to that empathy thing, you know how I said you're really empathic and you pick up what other people are feeling and then you want to take care of those feelings for them and make their feelings better because you're feeling them, and then it makes you feel better too when they feel better. So you will have done that with your parents. Guaranteed. Guaranteed all kids do that. But it's not noticed, it's not validated, it's not talked about. It's not recognized as an actual thing because kids are more sensitive, more empathic than anyone. They're more water than we are as adults, right? They feel more. Their capacity for feeling is way bigger. So you as a little kid, you're feeling, let me know if this resonates, you're feeling what your parents are feeling, not realizing, perhaps even, consciously or logically, you're just responding. I need to make mummy feel better. I need to make daddy feel better. And you go and do all these things, giving your energy to make them feel better. Good girl, good boy. You get praise for it. Good job. You go, okay, that works. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing that. That's keeping me alive. That's keeping me in survival. They're approving of me. They like me. They love me, hopefully. So you keep doing it. And that's how we get into this pattern in the first place. Okay, so coming back to that empathy, you're resonating with me. Let me know how this is going down. Take a deep breath. Let's let it wash through. Okay, let it land. Don't hold on to what I'm saying to you. Just, I would also really recommend not controlling your breath. Just let it flow through. I've got you. Okay. I totally want to teach you how to how to work with all of this stuff so that you can recognize what's going on. You can recognize the truth of your situation. You can be that one. You can be your healer. You can be your savior. Because waiting for somebody else to see it, you can literally be on death's door. I had a girl work with me. I say girl, she was a 27-year-old amazing singer. You may have heard this story before if you've been with me for a while. Her name is Abby. She was a singer. She still is a singer, an amazing singer. My gosh, she's incredible. I met Abby and she'd been given 3 weeks to live. She was in one of my 2-day workshops. I used to do a lot of live events. There was this big event in Brighton. There's about 100 people in the room, taking everybody through this process, this I love you me method, right? To clear and clean the energy and do this whole thing and de-baggage from everyone else's stuff. She's in the room. I don't know her whole story at this point. She's just one of the people in the audience. And luckily, I'm so grateful she came into my life. She signed up for the program, the practitioner training, where I teach people how to use this method for other people. But clearly, she wasn't a healer. She'd been given 3 weeks to live by her doctors. She'd had 2 years of chemo and, you know, all of the interventions the hospital could give her, because she had a 21 centimeter tumor in her chest. 21 centimeters, that's about that big. That was about the size of her chest at the time. She was so tiny. She was just skin and bone. She really wasn't much bigger than that. So you can get a sense of this trauma, like this tumor, like filling her chest. And the doctor said, we really haven't, we can't do much else for you. We don't know what else to do. We've got this other thing, but by the time you get to that other thing, the radiology, you may not be alive. We don't expect you to be alive by then. You know, she's 27 years old. Now, when I got into Abby's story with her, and actually I have her, you know, her telling this story, not this part of the story, but how she recovered is actually on this channel. You can see her video. When I asked her about her story, this is after she'd healed. The trauma went down, by the way, and then it disappeared and she's alive and she had a baby and she's amazing, right? It completely reversed that cancer. And when we were getting into the story of it, I asked her what had happened. And she was like, you know, Tara, she said that in those 2 years that she had cancer, from when she was diagnosed to when she met me, she'd become famous. Because as a singer, she was still going out there, singing her heart out, singing her songs, trying to make people happy with her music. And also for the attention, she was very honest about it. And I love honesty. She was saying, look, I did it because that's how I got my need for attention. She sang, people loved her. She got energy back, the energy back that she was looking for. It was filling her cup because her cup was empty inside, right? So she needed it from other people. And she was getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And the sicker she got, the more praise she seemed to get from others. The more like, wow, well done, aren't you inspiring? Isn't she amazing, everyone? She's dying, and yet she's still singing. What a hero, what a girl. She was on the front page of newspapers. She made headlines. She was amazing. And she was getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And she tells me, she's kind of loving it. She's like, yay, I'm famous. I'm getting the attention I need. Yeah, I'm nearly dying. So what? Because it hadn't really registered with her that she was actually potentially going to die. It was just like, well, what I'm doing is working. It's getting me love. And it felt really great right up until that point where it hits her and she goes, actually, they're telling me I've got 3 weeks left to live. Wake up moment. I'm really glad that she had that wake up moment. I think she's really glad that she had that wake up moment. Like, we're all really glad that she was able to have that wake up call and be honest with herself and be like, what I'm doing isn't working. It's not working for me. It's not sustainable. I can't keep doing this to get my cup filled. I can't keep sacrificing myself for love, to get loved by other people. I need to do something else. And luckily, she also had this part of her that just kept telling her, she just knew that she was somehow going to turn this around. I don't think it was comfortable for her leaving it until that last minute. I know it wasn't comfortable. It was horrendous. She'd been through hell. But it was great because at that last minute, she was like, she turned it around. She met me. She used the modalities. I showed her, I taught her, I did one session with her, just one-on-one session. The rest of it was in a group in this training. Like I said, she didn't even want to be a therapist, particularly. She wasn't even supposed to be alive by this point. By the time I ran that training, it was after the live event, 6 weeks later. She's still alive. It's like, something's working, right? Or the healing process had started. It had reversed the process. It was already happening. Then she came and did this practitioner training with me. No intention of being a practitioner, but she did it anyway. And that is where we really got into it. That's where we met the part of her that was inside the cancer, needing to be loved. And I showed her how to love herself. And I did a session with her. And guess what? Within, I think it was less than 8 weeks, she came back with a test that said her cancer was in remission. It was not there. And the tumor had shrunk from 21 centimeters to 8. And there's the rest of the story. I'll let her tell you the rest if you go and watch her video. But I'm like, that's an example. And you go, well, how's that related to burnout? Because I guess it's how we identify the burning out. There would have been stages that Abby had got to before she started having the cancer showing up in her body. It's that giving. And this is what I'm really hoping that we recognize here together, that I'm giving because what I need to get back is what? It's love. When you boil it all down, attention, recognition, validation, acceptance, to be just received, to be just loved, actually. Because that's the fuel that we run on. That's the energy that we've given out, hoping that we get it back. If we give enough, we'll get enough back. If we do enough, we'll get enough back being done for us. And that, if I give you and you'll give me, is codependent. It's keeping us in that same place that we were as a child, where we're codependent on others' love for our survival. Is this ringing true? Is this making sense for you? Let me know how this is feeling. So there's a shortcut. So when I put in this video, okay, burnout to thriving, life hacks for givers, my life hack is be real. Be real with yourself. Be honest. Check in. Listen to what I'm saying. Notice the signs. Catch it early. Because you might have just given a little bit of your cup, but there's still that motivation. There's still that drive underneath. If I give that, and it's the child in your mind, it's the child tendency, it's the survival child in you. If I give this, I'm going to get that back because I don't know how to do it for myself. Well, let's shortcut this. And I'm not saying stop giving love to everyone else. I'm not saying that at all. In fact, what I can help you with, what I'm going to share with you, actually enables you to give more love from a sustainable place, from a place that doesn't drain you, because love in itself is inexhaustible rather. It's an inexhaustible supply of love. You can't run out of love. There is no such thing. But you have to plug yourself into the source of where the love comes from and feed your own self first. Fill your own cup, fill your own vessel. And if you're wondering about cup, this is it, your body, your mind. This physical you is your cup. You are the Holy Grail, my love. You are the holy cup, the divine manifestation, the heaven on earth in a physical form. You are pure love incarnate. This stuff that you are was born of love. Maybe not quite the right kind of love, the pure love between your mum and your dad when they made you. Not all of us were made from pure unconditional love. Very few of us, in fact, made from pure unconditional love between two human beings who poured their energy together and created you. So I'm not talking about that. That stuff is conditional, right? That's the stuff that we need to clean up, those conditions of love. That's the old consciousness. That's the old paradigm that we are emerging out of, that we are transcending, that we are evolving out of. Like that is the old reference of what love is. And it isn't love and it doesn't work. Okay, it's not very creative. In fact, it's destructive. So I'm not talking about that kind of love. I'm talking about you were molded, shaped, born of this incredible infinite stuff. And it is infinite stuff. Yes, it goes back to the earth one day when this body decides to go back and your soul decides to leave, and it gets regenerated, it gets recycled. It's infinite stuff. It's matter, conscious matter, incredible particles of, you've been listening to my videos lately, of quantum energy, infinite energy, absolute unconditional, pure love, high frequency, high vibrational, not the same as high vibrational panic. That's dissonant high frequency. We're not talking about that either. We're talking about that frequency of, wow, pure, incredible, high vibrational love. That's what you're made of. That's what this stuff is. This is what your cup, your vessel is made of. You are the Holy Grail. You are what you're looking for. It's right here. And what are cups for? For drinking out. For being filled up with another substance, a spiritual substance, the breath of creation, the breath of you that fills this body. Again, what is the breath? It's pure unconditional love. It's a pure infinite source. You can't run out of air to breathe. You can't run out of prana. You can't run out of spirit. There is no such thing. It's infinite. And it's infinite because it's self-sustaining. You see, the universe sustains itself. Spirit is self-sustainable. Earth is self-sustainable. If we leave her alone, she sustains herself just fine. Even with our interventions and our annoying things that we do and try and mess it up, Earth still can sustain herself. She's really good at it. She's been doing it an incredibly long time. It's us that also need to learn from these parents that we can be self-sustainable, that this is in fact crucial to our well-being. It's crucial to our thriving. It's crucial to our evolution. It's crucial that we elevate, that we awaken our consciousness enough to understand this world that we live in. And it is temporal, this world. This experience of the world that we're having is temporal. So we have a temporary amount of time in which to realize this. We've got a window, right? Right now, in this moment between me and you, this is your window where you can choose to realize this or not realize this. You can choose to put it on the back burner and come back to it later. You can choose to be like Abby and test the limits and see how run down, how self-depleted you can become before you get someone else's love and attention, your savior, your healer, your rescuer, basically your parent, to recognize the state that you're in and to take responsibility and to love you and to heal you. Or you can choose this window, this opportunity, this moment right now, because that's what your life is. It's a moment. It's just a moment, and it goes by so fast. And it's such a precious moment in which you are here in your body, in your spirit, both together, having this beautiful experience, or the opportunity to have a beautiful experience of how full of love can you be? How self-sustainable in your own inexhaustible supply can you be? How plugged in, tapped in, tuned in, connected to yourself and your source can you be? Wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't that be less painful? Wouldn't that be quicker? Do you want to wait? Do you want to come back and try it in the next lifetime? I don't know how many lifetimes we get, guys. I really don't. Now is your window. Now is this moment when you choose, and that's how thriving starts. Well, first of all, being honest, being real, looking under the carpet, looking under the hood, like I've talked about for the last hour, right? Being honest, being real, being present enough with yourself. Take a deep breath. You completely have all the tools you need. You have everything you need to be able to turn this around at any time you choose. And it is up to you. You are the one with the power. You are the one that makes the difference. You are the one that makes the difference to other people's lives. So would you be willing to make that difference to your own life? What if you could be the living example? What if we're all on the same team of being that living example, not pouring into each other's cups, not taking from each other's well, not perpetuating that messed up old paradigm of codependency and lack. But what if we really embrace this new paradigm of self-sustainability and go from surviving into thriving? Wow. I want to leave you with that. Let me know your thoughts. Get in touch. Send me an email. Send me a message. I want to hear. I want to know. Connection and talking about this literally is like, I just love it so much. I just love sharing about this. I feel energized right now because I'm sharing about this, because me expressing my truth, being real, honest, open, vulnerable with you, is like, I feel so much better. It's not exhausting at all. In fact, I feel fantastic right now. I hope you feel fantastic right now. I hope you've been validated and felt and heard. Like I'm hearing your own voice in your head, because it's a collective voice, right? It's not just you. You're not alone. We're in this together. I got you. And I really warmly encourage you and invite you to come in and learn more. Okay, not because I want to take from you, but because when we immerse in self-love, the extraordinary happens. You could reverse your cancer. You could reverse some other thing that's going on inside of you. You can reverse that burnout. And I'm not, be very aware, I'm not making any medical claims. I can't do that. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. I just can tell you from the benefit of my wisdom, my experience, my 20 plus years of doing this stuff, that self-love, loving yourself, immersing yourself in love and being shown the ropes in how to do it is going to utterly transform your life. And as you transform, you're going to impact the lives of others. You're going to be that leader. You're going to be that inspiration. You're going to be that living example. And it helps flip the game. It helps flip the cards on this world table from traumatized to thriving. And I'd love you to be a part of that and join in and do that with me. Okay, so I'm going to hang up now and I'm going to put the link below. So stay there. Click the link in just a sec and I will see you on the inside. I love you. Come join me. Bye.